We have this other color model called HSL, and HSL stands for hue, saturation, and lightness. It makes it really easy for anyone to quickly visualize a color. So unlike name colors where we have a set number and I'd have to remember the words and match them to the color in my head, or hexadecimal or RGB where I need to do a lot of complicated math in order to make that work, HSL gets so much easier. Here it is here. It's actually a wheel, or you can visualize it as a wheel, like this. And the color, the hue, starts at 0, which is red, goes all the way around in rainbow order, which is awesome, all the way back to 360 for red again. It's not your traditional color wheel because it's actually R, G, and B. And the complementary colors are cyan, magenta, and yellow. Makes it a little bit different. But when it comes down to working with this circle, it's easier to visualize that circle and put the colors on it around in a circle. I'm saying circle a lot, but very easy to visualize that way. So up here, I have a slider. I can move it. I know that it turns red and then it goes to yellow and then we have the green. And somewhere in here, it's going to start flipping to blue, light sky blue, which is 180. That's about halfway, right? Right there. And then we keep going. We get into darker blues, and then it starts to go purple and pink and some hot pink and back to red. And we can just go around that circle. We don't need any sort of a degree sign or a measurement here. We just write the number and it works. The next one is saturation. Saturation goes from 0% to 100%. So right now it's 100%. And if we bring this slider down to 0%, it actually removes the color. So it takes it to gray. Wherever you are, it takes it to a grayish color, just like that. And that's partly based on the next one, which is lightness. Lightness is another percent from 0 to 100, but it goes from 0, which is black, just pure black, all the way up to 100%, which is white, pure, uncolored white. In the middle, at 50%, you have the purest color you can. So if you go this way, you get kind of a pastel color, all the way up to white. If you go the other way towards 0, it gets dark, a little bit of this ugly-ish yellow, all the way down to black. So we have a percentage. There is also alpha. We'll talk about that in a bit. But here it is. We have a hue. And we can visualize that around the circle, 360 degrees. Gives us a color. And then our saturation, how rich it is, along with whether it's light or dark or somewhere in the middle. Really easy. So easy that with just a little bit of practice, you can start guessing this. This one is red, but we can get a random color here. 169, 170, that's very close to 180, but there's still just a hint of green in there. So we're going to go with like a really light blue seafoam. See, I was right about the green. Down here we have 130. Well, that's still very green, right? Very close to 120, so green. Over to 220. 220 is very close to 240, but not quite. So it's still just a little bit light. Probably your more traditional blue, which is exactly that, okay? 59 is 60. 60 is yellow, okay? We have yellow. 256, 260, that's starting to get into purples. So we're starting to get this little bit of a purple color. And if you ever need it, I'm going to share this game in the docs. But you can hover down here and find the color, so you know that that's going to be orange. Orange is that. Again, it's yellow. A little bit of green. It's starting to flip. Yeah, it's kind of a yellowish green. 300s are pink. You're looking at pink there. And of course that is red, but it's like a dark red. It's desaturated, not quite pure. not quite like that. Again, 170, we already did that. That's that seafoam, okay? And we can just keep jumping around. So if we take this all the way back to our color chip, we can actually take a really good stab at what this color is. So we know that this color, 186218885, is this green. And if we remember, if we just visualize the color wheel, we're going to see that it's kind of like 90, but there's still some yellow in there, so maybe it's around 75. Now we have a percentage for the saturation. It's not pure color, definitely not, but it's also not gray. It doesn't look gray to me. So as a guess, I'm going to say 60%. Moving over to the side, or to lightness, sorry, it feels closer to white than to black. So I'm going to say, yeah, probably 60% there too, just as a guess. And if I uncomment this, you can see that there is a slight flicker there. I could tweak some of these measurements and get very close. But as a guess, that was very, very easy. So HSL, hue, saturation, lightness, very easy to get started with and very easy to use as a developer.